Hello, and welcome to Senior Artist Talks. I'm Angel Mercado. Have you noticed when you have, look at some drawings, paintings perhaps, how the figure, every time they introduce a figure, how it changes the composition, how it changes the meaning, how it creates a story just by adding a figure or figures. And this last video of the three series of how to draw the human figure in your drawings, we are going to be talking about how we can make the figure play the first role, the main role, not the secondary role like we've been playing for the first two videos. So here I'm going to teach you how you can do pretty much the same drawing using the same elements, just by changing some factors there. A few things can really change the meaning of your drawing, and how you can make the figure, instead of being secondary to your main subject in the drawing. So I hope you're going to enjoy this one. If this is what you've been looking for, I think you're going to find it useful. But before we go, please check down below in the description box. I have a free guide for you, the person who is having a little bit of trouble, how to start a drawing, how to start a composition. It's a free guide for you, very useful. From there you can expand it, and it will give you a good starting point. So get it and use it. And also, if you find this video enjoyable, not as much as that, but if you found it useful, give me a like. That would be nice, and subscribe. I have tons of videos there, over 100 videos for you to pick and choose which you might be interested in, where you might need a little bit of help to improve your skills. So now let's go and see how we can turn these three figures here on the left hand side, bottom left, into the main subject this time. Let's go. Charcoal pencils, also different types of charcoal vines and compressed charcoal, so different sizes to do charcoals. And the very first thing I'd like to do is like do a border, a little frame around the the area where I'm going to do my composition. And it doesn't have to be anything very precise or anything like that. I just eye it pretty much. Just give me an idea, just to leave a little bit of white around, a reminder. And now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to pretty much draw the same or something similar to the original sketch I did. This was done in southern Chile. Beautiful area, beautiful homes, mostly wood. And this wood was kind of turned silver, with age, and it was just beautiful. So this is what attracted me. So my main concern here was to do a nice sketch, so I could do a painting later on about the building. So here in this sketch, then you see the figures in the background. That's kind of like a second role, it's something that's going to help with the composition, but it's not what it's all about. It's all about the house. But here you can see the figures on the foreground, towards the left side. Then they are now a lot larger than they were in the original sketch. And it's because now we're trying to switch. Now we're trying to make the building as the background, as part of the composition, and the figures are the main subject in our drawing. When I sketch, when I'm doing this, I'm pretty much kind of like comparing, one about where this starts, where does it end in comparison to this other one, about how big it is. And If you notice, I first start with the big shapes, and then you work yourself into the smaller shapes, into the details. And I have that approach with pretty much everything I do in my artwork. I was trying to find the big shapes first, establish those, and always start light, very light. That way, if you need to make changes, you don't have to worry about that line that you cannot get rid of. There I'm indicating there will be some trees in the background, and that's pretty much it. The figures I'm going to add, and the main figures I'll add them later on. Right now I just want to see how the sketch is going to fit into my paper, and just to have a mental idea. And now with charcoal, soft charcoal, I'm going to go all over pretty much the sketch. But the only thing I'm going to be careful not to go over too much are going to be the white areas I want to preserve later on. So which is almost everything but the umbrella really, and that sign. And everything else has some tone, even the sky, because the sky wasn't white. So, but I'm going to add the sky, I'll add the charcoal with the brush later on, now with the red charcoal, because I don't want it that dark. So as you can see, very quickly we can just add a lot of tone or charcoal to the paper, and then I'm going to start just paying attention to some of my oh, by the way, I squint. I'm always squinting like this, that way I can see the lights and darks, the difference. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm applying a little bit darker tones now around the trees. Everything that seems light, darker, I'm adding an extra tone. And remember, this is just the first pass, the first layer. And there we're pretty much done with the first layer. And now with my fingers, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go pretty much all over where it's charcoal. And I do this for two reasons. One is to bring things kind of together, get rid of sometimes the paper has some kind of texture, that you don't want to show. So this way you can push the charcoal into the tooth of the paper, and it will become more permanent too. So that's another good reason to do this for. And with the finger, you can see there I'm adding a little bit of tone to the sky also. And that is just by whatever is left in the charcoal is left in the finger, just rub it on the background. But remember, light touch. Always you want soft touch. You don't want to get too heavy-handed. So once I've done that, now I pick up my charcoal stick and I kind of start redrawing the main areas, applying darker tones here. It's kind of like irregular broken because there are trees, so I want some texture. So I'm trying to show a little bit of texture. Here, this is the front area that was getting kind of sunlight, but I noticed on the roof it was darker, of course, than the wall. And also I'm just adding a lot more darker tone into the paper, and just drawing or just suggesting where things are going. That way I'll have an idea later on of what to leave alone, or what I need to change, what's going to help the composition. And close to this point from now on, really, I pay very little attention to the photo or the original sketch, because now I'm just looking at what this sketch that I'm doing needs, to do, or I need to do in order to show what I want to show. So I just start concentrating a lot more in that. And here with the brush, instead of using my finger, I'm blending all of the charcoal that is under shade and shadows. And what it does, I create the mid-tone for this sketch. And it's almost like paint, really, because the charcoal is amazing. You can move it around. It's just a beautiful medium to work with. I really enjoy it. And as you can see, I'm pretty much covering everything, not leaving much white at all. And then I'm using the whatever charcoal I have in the brush. I'm using it in the sky also to tone it up a little bit more because it was way too bright. So now it's getting a little bit where it should be. And that's pretty much the process of the first or second layer. And now we're going to start, if you notice it, pretty much all the whole composition, you know, now is done. And now I go and start adding the smaller shapes. In this case, you know, for the building are the windows, the doors, and stuff like that. So that's what I'm adding. Here are the windows in the front of the house. You know, and it won't be solid like that. It'll be just some. It's going to look a little dark and a little bit lighter, some of the glass. So that's why it's like that. And with the eraser, I start using the eraser also like a brush here to lift the charcoal off the paper. And with this, I start drawing. So as you can see, the eraser, I use it more as a drawing tool than something to make correct mistakes or to erase. And how you use the eraser, once then you start seeing it getting too dark on the tip, you just, you know, stretch it out a little bit and then get a clean tip and keep on going. That way you're not going to introduce charcoal from your eraser to something you're trying to get lighter. And there I'm working, now it's the sidewalk or the driveway. It's a little bit lighter, so I'm also lifting some of the charcoal off the page. And now I'm kind of deciding about the figures, the main figures, where they're going to go. And here's where I'm going to place my first one. And here there are three figures, so, you know, it's good sometimes to make up a story in your mind, you know, like, oh, okay, so there's, what are they doing? Well, here maybe they happen to just run into each other and they're just saying hello, you know, you say, how are you doing? Maybe a little handshake or something going on there. And then we're introducing the third figure. And you can see, I'm not very concerned in being very precise, and this is a female or a male, and this is a leg, this is a, no, it's just that they're shapes, and that's all they are right now, shapes. And with that now, with the finger, again, I'm going to start tone down the brightness in the background because it's calling too much attention. Remember, now the figures are the main attention grabber here, not the building. So if you have too much contrast, that's where the eye is going to go. So if I have too much contrast between light and dark in the background, the eye is going to go straight there. So I don't want that, and that's why I kind of smooth it out, let's say. And now I'm going to start developing more the figures in the foreground. Yeah, maybe that figure in the middle had a jacket on. You can just see part of the shirt. Hats, everybody wear hats around there, so that's why I put hats on my figures. And again, you don't want to put a lot of detail because when you think about it, these figures, I was sketching them from the other side of the street. So there's quite a bit of distance in between, so you that taking on too much of the end, you know, give you an extra bonus here, and that's what I'm doing. And what this is, you know, I mentioned about placing the figures in the foreground, but I didn't give you the reason why I did that. Well, when you start taking art classes from then on, up to now, you always hear about when we talk about composition, where to place your main subjects in your composition. And it always comes out to somewhere where the parallel lines meet with the horizontal lines, and the intersections, in one of those four intersections like you see here, there is where you're supposed to place your main subject. And as you can see in this case, on the bottom left corner, right, there's where my main subject is. So I place it there. And also the size, I changed the size from you know, just a little bit too smaller figures, a little bit farther to the edge. Now they're a little bit closer to the center, and they're larger, taking more importance there. So that is why I place the figures there and why they have that size. And the other thing is, remember, as I said before, be careful with the details, because if you get too much details, it's going to look kind of like it should have been a little bit closer, it should have been a little bit larger, the figure, since it has so much detail. Because remember, I was from across the street, so if you just go outside where you live and just look across the street and go with your finger about how big a person will look from where you are at, and you're going to see that's going to be pretty small. So that's exactly what it looks like. So that's your bonus. I hope you'll keep that in mind when you're doing your sketches, and they will become helpful to you. That way your skills can keep on evolving, right?